Everything has a business opportunity. Even this bar of chocolate. Just imagine it becomes so popular, everyone in Saudi Arabia wants it, then the UAE, then the entire Gulf region. You would need more factories, more stores, more everything. But this requires a lot of money. And this is where an IPO comes in, initial public offering. In this video, I'm gonna tell you why some IPOs can be opportunities for all of us to make money. Think of it like this. Your business is like this bar of chocolate. When you do an IPO, you're dividing ownership into small pieces. Shares that anyone can buy. You get the money to grow, and if the stock goes up, investors profit from it. We saw this with Saudi Aramco's $25.6 billion IPO, the world's largest public offering ever. They obviously weren't selling chocolate, it was oil. But the idea is the same, letting the public own a piece of a large company. The thing is now, the Gulf is becoming the sweet spot for IPOs. So, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot the good investments from the risky ones, and why investing in IPOs is easier than you may think. So why are we talking about this IPO boom in the Gulf now? Just look at what's happening. Saudi Arabia alone raised $2.1 billion from IPOs in just 6 months. That's more than double what they did last year. In Oman, their national oil company just did a $2 billion IPO, the country's largest ever. The Gulf stock markets are pretty young compared to Europe or Asia, but they're growing really fast. I want to understand just how big this growth is, so I'm bringing our in-house IPO expert, Rasha. She's been researching Gulf markets for over a decade.
Hi, Isa.
Hi, Rasha. So my first question, how have Gulf IPOs evolved over the last decade?
I mean, if you look at just at 2019, that's when Aramco first IPO'd on the stock market.
It has drastically changed the size of just the Saudi stock market, where it was 10 years ago and today at $4 trillion in trading in just 6 countries. It's been a massive push for the whole industry.
Let's rewind back 10 years. Most IPOs in the region were just oil companies or banks. Now we're seeing everything from tech startups to clean energy companies going public, like these guys. They're building Saudi Arabia's future in clean energy and raised $1.2 billion in 2021. Their shares are still going strong since they went public.
Clean energy and tech are also of high interest for the newer generation, millennials, Gen X and Gen Z even, that are interested in more sustainable and high growth sectors that are forward or future looking. And we are seeing the market kind of reflect that.
But not every IPO is as successful. You heard of Lulu, right? The company that operates a chain of hypermarkets around the world. Even with all the hype, it didn't really live up to expectations. The Gulf is opening up new sectors for everyone to invest in. So how do you know which ones are worth your money? Remember that chocolate bar? Let's break it now into 5 pieces. 5 rules that'll help you spot the sweet ones. Rule number 1, look at the actual business. Is the company making money? Do they have actual customers? Go back to the basics.
Is the company making money at a healthy rate? Do they have good margins? And is the market they're in growing, and how fast is that market growing? A company that is able to show healthy economics and unit economics, so they're making good margins per sale or per growth, and they have very solid plans and have been proven to have consistent growth in revenue, is usually a good investment.
Rule number 2, ask, why do they need your money? Are they actually expanding the business? Or maybe the current owners are trying to cash out. Think about it. If the owners are selling most of their shares, that's not the best sign. Rule number 3, follow the data, not the hype. Check their track record. Look at their profit and their debt. Companies that show solid numbers before going public, that's what you want to see. Here's what I mean. Take Birkenstock. Everyone knows the brand, right? When they went public in New York in 2023, there was so much hype, and it ended up being underwhelming. Meanwhile, in the Gulf, Fertiglobe, one of the world's largest producers of fertilizers, didn't get so much attention, but did so much better. Rule number 4, look at the bigger picture. timing matters.
There are opportunities across real estate. Real estate is huge in this part of the world, but also we're seeing a rise across retail, metals, mining, and other resources that are, vital to the development of the economy.
Rule number 5, who's running the show? Even great ideas need the right people to make them work. Look at who's in charge and what they've done before. Before investing, always look at the official documents on the stock exchange websites. And don't just rely on one source, get the full picture. So how do you invest in these Gulf IPOs? If you're outside the region, it's easier than you think. You've got 3 main options. You can often simply do it through your banking app. Many banks in the Gulf allow you to do it in one click.
I advise you to first go through your bank. First of all, because these are secure, you trust your bank and you can kind of have better access to the IPOs, and you might even get early access to the subscription period before the stock goes public.
Or you can open an account with a broker. In the region, you have licensed firms like Al Jazeera Capital in Saudi or Fab Securities in the UAE. You can also use an international broker that works with Gulf markets. Each option has its rules. If you want to buy Saudi stocks directly, you'll need to qualify as a foreign investor. That's why some international investors prefer ETFs, exchange-traded funds. Think of these like buying a basket of Gulf stocks all at once. They're easier to get into. And once you're in, look at where the Gulf is heading. It's not just about oil anymore. You've got opportunities in green energy, fintech, and tourism. And once you're ready, make your move. Now tell me, are you thinking of investing in the Gulf markets? What do you think is the next big IPO that we shouldn't miss? Let us know in the comments, and see you next time on Gulfonomics.